Well, it's been a busy day for Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana, who delivered the budget in Parliament this afternoon. Well, tonight, he's also at another gathering that is also focused on issues to do with the budget. It's the Old Mutual Nedbank budget speech competition, also happening in Cape Town. SABC News reporter Mkhokheli Bandla is there for us. Mkhokheli, bring us up to speed, in fact, with just the background behind what's going on there this evening and the role that we expect the minister will play.
Good evening to you, Tembekile, and to our viewers at home. Indeed, we are coming to you live from Cape Town, Pinelands, where Nedbank and Old Mutual are holding one of the most prestigious awards when you talk the economy and the financial sector in South Africa. You will understand that these awards are held at the backdrop of the Minister of Finance delivering his budget speech earlier today in Parliament here in Cape Town. So what is actually happening now is it's these awards that are aimed at challenging young academians and young professionals in actually having their views on the fiscal question and fiscal policy and the economics of South Africa, but to get a better sense of what is happening here and maybe continue with the reactions of the budget speech from Minister Enoch Godongwana. We are now here joined at the SABC by the head of financial education from Old Mutual, that is Mr. John Manyeke. Mr. Manyeke, thank you so much for joining us. Maybe before explaining the concept for today, what is your initial reaction as one of the captains of the industry in the financial sector in South Africa? Your initial reaction from what has been delivered by the Minister of Finance, Enoch Godongwana, today?
Yeah. So for me, this was not only just a relief-focused budget, but also a pro-growth one. The minister, took us into confidence, and he detailed the extent to which government intends to mobilize private capital for infrastructure development. And we all know that we do have a skills mismatch in South Africa. So in order to create jobs and to deal with the structural unemployment situation that we find ourselves in, infrastructure development is very, very, very critical. Of course, there's a welcome relief in terms of the tax relief, which comes at a time where households find themselves financially stretched. I think it's a really a welcome relief. Also on the back of the announcement around the tax-free savings threshold being increased from the 33,000 to 46,000 per annum. And that, for me, I believe provides or strengthens the incentive for people to save, knowing that the money will go far. I think there's some positive things. Of course, on the downside is that the budget speech may not necessarily be a platform to provide detail on how these jobs will be created. But I was also happy to see that the minister was very clear that perhaps our National Skills Fund and our strategies around developing skills does fall short. Hopefully that can create a bit of a dialogue in terms of how do we then become a lot more aggressive in stimulating growth by challenging all the relevant role players in terms of developing skills that we need.
Interesting reaction there to the minister's speech today. But what we're here for today is the Nedbank and Old Mutual Budget Speech Awards. Just quickly, the aims and objectives of these awards.
So Nedbank and Old Mutual decided to collaborate on this excellent initiative to encourage our young graduates to have a shot at some of our economic and policy issues aligned to our national agenda. So this is an opportunity to allow young voices to look at these issues and tell us what they think. And this has been an initiative that started way back in 1972. And we're happy to be part of that, because if you're really serious about the sustainability of the economy, you need to start tapping into the young minds. And those who are in our universities may perhaps give us a different angle in terms of how we're looking at some of these economic challenges that our countries face today.
Mr. Manyeke, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
There you have it, Thembekile. That is the head of financial education from Old Mutual. Indeed, one of the captains in the industry when you talk Old Mutual, explaining the objectives of these awards between Nedbank and Old Mutual. Also giving us his reaction on the budget speech by the Minister of Finance, Enoch Godongwana, saying at the end of the day, it was not really a bad one, giving a thumbs up to the Minister's budget speech delivered earlier today in Parliament. But for now, Thembekile, it's going to be back to you in Auckland Park.
Mkhokheli, thank you very much for that. SABC News reporter Mkhokheli Bandla at an event tonight focusing, as you just heard, on issues related to the budget delivered today.